Welcome to the debate. Our discussion today focuses on a conceptual framework from the mindset for true success. It outlines a really critical three-step path: visualize, persist, and illuminate. The central question for us really is this: is true success achieved primarily through mastering internal disciplines? I'm talking about visualization and persistence. Or is it fundamentally defined and realized only through an external, altruistic impact? Specifically, that act of illuminating the world. I'll be arguing that achieving and sustaining that psychological durability is the defining core of success in this model.
And I'm coming at this from a different angle. I'll argue that external impact and aligning with a defined higher purpose are the non-negotiable criteria for what the framework calls true success. Without that outward piece, or just talking about powerful internal effort, not the promised outcome.
To my reading, true success rests squarely on that foundational internal work. The core power lies in step 1, visualize your success, holding a strong, clear image, and, crucially, step 2, persist through challenges. This requires you to maintain your vision continuously and combat negative thoughts. These internal processes, this continuous maintenance of belief, and the spiritual fortitude to rise up from setbacks are necessary and, I would argue, sufficient for achieving the mindset. The constructive, persistent internal state is the achievement. Success here is about psychological durability.
See, I just don't buy that the internal state is the end game. The framework explicitly defines the success as something beyond just self-mastery. We have to look at the criteria for completion, which are entirely external. You have to align with a higher purpose, helping create a better world, a utopia, and then engage in step 3, illuminate the world, where you radiate your highest light. If steps 1 and 2, however perfectly you do them, don't lead to this external leadership, well, then they're just prep stages. They fail to meet the bar for the specific kind of true success this model is selling.
Okay, but let's look closely at the milestones that are emphasized in step 2. Rising up from setbacks and developing constructive and persistent thoughts. When we analyze the framework, those victories, conquering internal darkness, maintaining the vision, are presented as the crucial hurdles. If you can reliably maintain that resilient mindset, haven't you fundamentally achieved the promised success, even before the external effects ripple out? The endurance itself is the measure.
I follow your reading of the psychological component, I do, but I think that overlooks the defining element articulated right in the title of step 3. It's the necessary outcome. And what's more, if the framework demands alignment with a utopia, a universal external goal right from step 1, well, doesn't that inherently make the definition of success external from the start, regardless of how persistent the internal effort is? If your vision is fundamentally self-centered, it violates the initial criteria, making all the persistence that follows kind of irrelevant to true success.
That's a fair point about the prerequisite alignment, but let me offer a different perspective on causality here. The achievement of the persistent mindset causes the external illumination. It's the engine that drives the light. If you have successfully mastered step 2, you have achieved the intrinsic state of being able to live in a way that your own energy and drive become a source of motivation for others. That readiness, that inherent stability and energy, that is the true achievement. The illumination is just the natural, inevitable expression of that internal mastery you've already established.
And that framing of causality is the key point of tension, isn't it? If we look at the framework structurally, the question becomes, is step 3 being a source of motivation, offering your most positive energy? Is that just a guaranteed result? Or is it the essential condition that validates whether the initial visualization and persistence were correctly aimed in the first place? I'm not convinced that the internal energy alone counts as success, because the framework places the definition of true success squarely on the societal contribution. If the energy is maintained but never radiates outward, it hasn't fulfilled its purpose within the model. The external act of illumination verifies the quality and purpose of the internal state.
So we agree the successful mindset, that durable internal capacity to offer your most positive energy, has to be established internally first. I just see the capacity for light as the measure of success. That continuous maintenance and vision development,
That is the hard work. The success is having built that engine. The radiation is just proof the engine is working, but the building of it is the fundamental victory.
The challenge we face in this model is trying to separate the cause from the condition. We have to determine if true success is fundamentally defined by the self-sufficiency and discipline of the self, or if it has to culminate in that required external manifestation of purpose to be considered realized.
Indeed. We both recognize that the interplay between internal discipline and external altruism here warrants some very careful consideration. The mastery of vision and persistence is undoubtedly essential for the journey.
But whether that psychological mastery alone constitutes true success, or whether the definitive metric is the realization of that external, higher purpose, that remains the key distinction. We'll leave it to the listener to evaluate this framework and determine for themselves where the true measure of success ultimately resides.